Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Movie Crap Live. I'm starting early because I'm ready to start, and I thought, why not? Actually ready 6 minutes early? Yeah, don't know if it's going into the stream yet. Sort of just waiting to see. Confirmation as such. Oh, there I... Oh, I sound okay. Alright, let's send out the tweet so people know I'm here. I want people to know. Hey, not ready. Austin's not ready, guys. Austin's not ready. Let's hold up. But hello, it's the Wind Rider Ryan, Nathaniel Fogo, Purple Goop, Cornbread. Does Scooby-Doo what? Nintendo? Oh, does Scooby-Doo do what Nintendo? Yo, flip a dip. Austin. I hope Austin's ready. He said he wasn't. I'm worried now. Anyway, Bruce Parker. Sorry to start a little early. I just thought, I'm ready. Did the tweet, do it go? It looks like it did. I'm just gonna... my phone's over there. Buster's here. Eric, my day is good. You sound like a man. Hell, thank you. Tannerlands. Cool. Yeah, I feel like... Wait, come here. Thing. Oh, no one can see me yet. You can tell I started early because no one... Oh, Hats Off Media is here today. Hello. Okay, well let's do the... Hey, look, it's me. I got a haircut today. Fresh haircut. Didn't shave and a haircut, but I got a haircut. And that's cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ryan, I heard you talked about me on Double Toasted, so thank you. But yeah, so I got a haircut because last show was too much hair. I was like, if I'm doing another one, gotta get the haircut. So shout out to the Kevin James shout out on the podcast. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Well, that's the first super shout out of the night. So cheers to you, Bloxy Oxenwinkle. Thank you, Zodberg. Thank you. Cheers to you, Bloxy Oxenwinkle. Yeah, Buster, do you want to be on the show this early? I think it's going to be a looser show because there's not a ton of movie news. Hold on, I'm looking at... Buster, you want to see you? Yeah. Hey, look. Did you want to be on the show? So, Buster, what do you think of New Mutants? You're purring. You're happy. You like fame, huh? Do you want to do the whole show? You can do the whole... Divas. You know what I mean, guys? I just don't. Anyway, Hats Off Media is here. If you didn't see the Disney Plus thing we did together, I also watched Hats Off's video today about cartoons within cartoons, I guess it's called. It was really good. I have a lot of cats, guys. Toon J723. Jordan Salafalo. Okay. Buster move. Ace the Wind Rider. I think I said hi. Javier. Not plausible. Rum Hum. Hey, there we go. Rum Ham. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I got my haircut today. Went to a place I'd never been before. It wasn't my usual barber, so that was weird. But yeah, I think it worked out. I'm happy with it. Wife's happy with it. That's all that matters. Everything is cake. That's true, Garrett. Elwood, how's it going? And thank you. Yeah, not, just kind of living in quarantine. Buster's sniffing the lights. Really don't want to... Buster, that's probably not a good idea. Let's not die on camera. Or off camera. What's worse? Okay, come on. Sorry about that. Didn't want the cat to die. Jim's literally a cat daddy. That's true. Alright, but yes, let's see. Oh, hey, Nathaniel Fogo. Funny, I'm getting a haircut right now? Really? Really? That's interesting. I'm not sure about in front of a computer. Is this a phone, Nathaniel Foga? Anyway, cheers to your haircut, I guess. Cheers to you. Yeah, life's been cool. I had a crazy Friday in terms of content. The short film I wrote, Scarcity, came out, directed by Matt Berry. We've been working together for a while. I was like, I want to write something for you. I did. Yeah, that's out. It's on his YouTube channel. Check that out. I should have had a link in the chat. If someone wants to do that, I very much appreciate it. I'm sorry, I should have come prepared for that. But check that out. You can see it's on my Twitter feed. I'm going to repost it on Monday, as well as a Saber video for Strange Magic, which you know my affinity for that film gone on a long time, and then finally a close enough review. So pretty cool Friday. I was really proud of myself. And this week, video every day from Monday to today, and feeling good about that. Shout out to Bird Josh and Dogboy. Yeah, okay, cheers. Cheers to you, Austin. We're feeling great about that. And on Friday, we showed Sophie Space Jam, which did not hold her attention at all. But to do HBO Max, we had to move the couch. We literally had to move furniture to make HBO Max work. So, convenient streaming service? Totally. But she didn't really like Space Jam, but she did like the Bugs Bunny short. I was able to play through HBO Max with Marvin the Martian. I think it's called like something here. He goes... Bugs Bunny goes to space, and then he's using his phone. Okay, cool. Send me a picture of your haircut. I'm curious. I'm assuming it'll be a good haircut. You know. But yeah, we watched Space Jam. She just jumped on the couch the whole time. We had pizza. It was actually very relaxing. But the Space Jam, not really the greatest movie, but I don't know. I was thinking at some point I should review the commercials that were before Space Jam that made them, because Space Jam is based on like a Nike commercial or whatever, and I've always thought maybe I should do that, so maybe I'll do that at some point. I need to find out the history of like the commercials that went into making Space Jam. I don't know, Space Jam's weird because I noticed a lot of people don't think it was as a commercial before, but it definitely was. You know, so anyway, I mean, like I had a T-shirt of the commercials before the movie even came out. So, but I'm always fine with the movie, but I always kind of get what it is. But I've reviewed it before, but that's kind of my newer Space Jam review. I don't think I have anything else to say. Sorry, this is going to be a very loose show because it's the week before Comic-Con. Despite the fact that Comic-Con is not going to have huge news out of it, most likely. So or Comic-Con at home. So this is a very weird. They've all been weird weeks, but it's going to be a looser show. So I think that could be fun. We'll see. Maybe I'll do longer questions. I'm going to have 3 segments at the end. One, the reason I'm doing an Unsolved Mysteries thing is because I never got to shout a review of it, and I kind of just want to talk about it somewhere, as I'm a big fan of the original, and I have like way too much info in this head. You know, Back in Action I need to rewatch, Ryan, but we won't, you know. Space Jam's just, we wanted to have fun, so Space Jam's still fun, you know, but isn't Back in Action directed by Joe Dante? I mean, I think Space Jam's just directed by some dick who made commercials, and you know, some dick who made commercials is never going to be as good as Joe Dante, if you ask me. That's my opinion. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Unsolved Mysteries, then the Roger Rabbit short Tummy Trouble. I kind of want to get reviews of all the Roger Rabbit shorts, because I was like, well, that could be fun, you know. And then a review of Peacock. I guess at the end. I guess it's a review at the end. Maybe I'll do that earlier. I was watching in chat. It seemed like people wanted me to talk about Peacock earlier. So maybe I'll do that before the break. We'll see how the show goes. Anyway, first off, before we really get into it, I want to say that this show and pretty much everything I do is supported by viewers like you, or you nice people, either through super chats during the show, which I very much appreciate, and will totally chug a Red Bull for you, and then also through my Patreon, which I have exclusive content, you know, postcards. You get to participate in the movie review vote, more so than you would normally. I guess you still get to either way. I'm screwing this up. Anyway, I very much appreciate your support, and if you're financially able to do so to help me to continue to make stuff and continue to make videos, that would be amazing, and thank you very much if you do that already. Yeah, I phrased that very awkwardly, but yes. So, this came out today. Is the big, I guess, movie news. Let me get this up here. And is the first kind of image we've seen of Godzilla vs. King Kong. There it is. There's the thing. And Godzilla's like, roar. And it's okay, 6CG4, yeah. But yeah, Godzilla vs. King Kong. This is the first image. It was on like some box merchandise that will come out at some point. I have no clue what the deal is with Godzilla King Kong, and it's been moved around so many times, but that is a cool image. That's a cool image. I don't think the movie, that's not a still from the movie. That's like something you have on the back of a box. It looks like they're fighting over a layer, just, King Kong's like, yo, I'm going to punch you in the face. And Godzilla's like, no, this is a misunderstanding. I thought I was going to have some funny riffs on this. But, it looks cool. How about that? It looks cool. They're going to fight at some point. I don't think that's spoilers. But yeah, Godzilla vs. King Kong. That is the first image. It looks cool, I don't understand why King Kong's so big. It's sort of weird because the Godzilla vs. King Kong, the kaiju thing, is actually a King Kong, not the RKO King Kong. It's like a different King Kong, and they made like kaiju movies and so forth. So anyway, that is the deal with Godzilla vs. King Kong. I hope you guys, I just wanted to do an image once in a while, and I thought there was really no better way to illustrate that one. Thought that was probably the best way to do it. I thought I saw Putty Cat. I guess that's what I should say. I thought I saw Putty Cat. But yeah, it does look like Emperor Kong. I didn't think of it that way. But yeah. Oh, hey, Alex is here. Okay, cool. Anyway, all right. So first kind of thing this week. Is there more things, Buster? What do you think? He's just licking his paw. What a cat. When do you find out their mother's names? Black Saxon-Winkle, that's great. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Okay. Yes. So, there was a new Mutants trailer with the announcement that they would be at Comic-Con at home. They're going to be on Thursday at 2 p.m. will be their panel, which will be live streamed somewhere or something. And I, right when this launched, all these movie press people kept saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this went on Hulu right after the panel? And then there's this whole rumor it's going to go on Hulu right after the panel. And then I was like, where are you getting this from? Because it's a cool idea, but do we have a source somewhere or something? There seems to be some doubt over contractual thing. For real, the contractual things of that, because the New Mutants people have theatrical contracts, which they have to renegotiate for streaming. There's this HBO Fox deal, which I don't think is still viable, but people keep bringing up, and everything I can find on it is like years ago, and I don't think Disney would have re-upped that, but save Mothra. Why did you say that name? Why did you say Mothra? That's funny. Cheers. Good job, Ryan. But there's no real confirmed on if they can't, by the way. That is one thing we can't confirm because there's so many different contractual things. But as for right now, that is rumor. That sounds really cool. That would be a cool thing to do. Again, no source. I do think it would go to Hulu other than Disney Plus because it's like more of an R-rated thing. But we'll see. We'll see about that. I think the studios are going to have to start making some hard cuts, and we'll see how that's going to go from there. Oh, thank you, Eric. It's on the San Diego Comic-Con website. I didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, the trailer looked cool. I loved magic above the portal. It sort of... I don't think that it was like the perfect trailer or anything like that, and I'm like sort of curious about the what? Why is he? Okay, anyway. I'm still very curious about it. I do think we'll get some announcement on a date change. I think we'll get some big announcement for New Mutants. I know it's not okay. I mean it's not R, Ryan, but it is like for sort of a more horror themed thing, and it's not really Disney. I guess if it's PG-13, it could go on Disney Plus. Now I think about it, but I just feel, and I guess you know what adds to this theory about Disney Plus. Now I'm thinking about it, they have been posting almost every week. Disney Plus has been like, here's a new of the current X-Men movies. They did Days of Future Past. They did X-Men Apocalypse. Have no clue why they want me to remind me of that one. I wonder if they're kind of bracing. They'll be like, here's Dark Phoenix, but forget about that. Here's New Mutants. So maybe that'd be cool. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I just think New Mutants would make more sense for Hulu, but I guess ratings-wise, Ryan is right. They could play Disney Plus stuff on there. They could put it on Disney Plus. We'll see. But as for like things that are actual things that have been confirmed and stuff, the trailer still looks cool. The newer trailer, I thought it was well cut. It was, impressed me. It still made me really want to see it. When is the question? I seriously don't think it's keeping its August date, but expect some sort of a date change. Or if they're going to do a streaming, I really don't think. I really don't think they're going to push it to streaming. Right after. I don't think that would be cool, but Disney doesn't seem like that kind of company. I think at most, I think what we'll get is we're going to go to Disney Plus on this date, or we're going to go to, Hulu on this date. I think that's what we'll get at most, but most likely I don't think they are. But it is interesting, Marvel, DC, none of the big comic book stuff is going, but New Mutants. New Mutants is the only real big comic book thing at Comic-Con at home, so so Richard Linklater announced, which I think is really cool, which is why I'm talking about it kind of closer to the beginning of the show, Apollo 10.5. This is another one of his rotoscope kind of movies, much like what he did with Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly. He hasn't done one in a while. This is to kind of show you what, kind of see the Apollo launch from a kid's perspective, which actually sounds really cool. There's a lot of people who keep saying that this was basically, if this film wasn't finished and he needed a way to figure it out, and so he brought in the rotoscope thing to kind of fix it. I don't think that's actually true from what I've seen, to be honest with you, but it sounds actually like a really cool way to use animation, and I think Richard Linklater's animated stuff, I've been meaning to review them at some point. Maybe this will, I think this comes out in a year or something, that I think... I think I need to do those in the lead up to that. Richard Linklater is an interesting filmmaker, both between the Boyhood thing and then he's making another film that takes a long time to shoot and stuff like that. But I know everyone jokes about the Boyhood. Boyhood took 12 years to make, so everyone really cares about it. I mean, I do think it's a novelty, but it is cool. I still like Boyhood. I don't know. I think it's not my favorite movie ever, or even of that year, but I still quite like that film. This sounds like a cool project, and it's a good use of animation, and it keeps going with this thing that we're going to see. Hey, Zane Powers says, hey, you guys see Waking Life? It was pretty cool. Yes, it was. I actually saw it in the theater. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Okay. Alright, so, but I thought that was a cool project. It's going to be on Netflix. But yeah, it seems like Netflix is really going for animation domination. I think, what's weird is Waking Life... Why wasn't Waking Life nominated for Best Animated? None of his animated stuff is the studios, but he makes some... I think they're kind of more... I think they're interesting. I need to... Scanner Darkly I didn't see, actually, now that I think about it. But, that was a reference to what you said. What was? I said a thing? What is it that I said? I guess I did. Anyway, sorry. So there's going to be a spin-off of Clone Wars called The Bad Batch. I didn't see Clone Wars, so I don't exactly know who these guys are. It's kind of like a mercenary type of thing. It sounds cool. It sounds like Dave Filoni's trying to do something with Clone Wars, particularly because of its popularity. It's interesting. Star Wars is moving more into, what I was thinking with this is more of the kind of weird, strange... not weird, strange, sorry. A kind of weirder cult Star Wars world and less into the bigger Star Wars world, and that seems to work for them. And I think also they want to keep Dave Filoni happy, so why not make The Bad Batch? I don't have much. Is it just Bad Batch? I have The Bad Batch. Yeah, it says The Bad Batch. Anyway, but I need to see Clone Wars. I've had heard great things about it. And now, kind of the bigger film news of the week, movie news, classic movie news, is Hitchcock is going, or there's Hitchcock's dead. No, there's an uncut version of Psycho that actually played in theaters. It's not the one we've had on home video and VHS for all this time. The one that played in theaters back in 1960 is not the one that we've had on DVD and home video. And there's a French TV version apparently, and there's a YouTube video which I'm going to put in the chat that shows the differences. There's subtle differences. It's not like we're not getting like a crazy different scene or something like that, which I should say, because you'd think that there would be, but it's Psycho. It's one of the greatest films of all time, but they're going to release a Blu-ray version of Psycho. It's going to have the uncut version on it, is what they've announced. It's a little different for Hitchcock fans, and if you've never seen Psycho, this is a reason to see it. And it's not an unnecessary director's cut or something like that. It is actually the film that made film history, you know, and I think that should be preserved. I'm kind of curious, like, why it was cut specifically, like what the deal was with that. I couldn't really find much about that, and maybe I'll look up why exactly that happened before it comes out. I'm actually kind of curious to see. Maybe this, hey, Courtney's here. I would actually look up like the reasons for it. I don't understand what the specific reasons was for cutting down Psycho, but those reasons won't be going on anymore. I think that's a reason to like buy it on Blu-ray, to be honest with you, because you'd be like, holy shit, I want to watch this. And it's like Psycho, you know, it's like one of the greatest films of all time, one of the best Hitchcock films ever. So yeah. Starring that Bond guy? Wait, what? No, is that Marnie? Anyway. Alright. Yeah, you should see Psycho. Whoa, Niji Kichu! Hello! When Blazing Saddles was to air on TV censors were for... Anyway, this is Niji Kichu with a fun fact. Here we go. Perfect time. Niji Kichu always comes in, brings the energy. Thank you, Niji Kichu, for being here. Anyway, fun fact. When Blazing Saddles was to air on TV censors were afraid of the backlash and controversial moments in the film, but couldn't cut the scenes out since they were crucial to the film, so they just muted all the farts. That's... Really? What would that scene be? Wow. Cheers to you, Niji Kichu. I'm glad to see you here, and that was a good fun fact. I actually have a fun fact to your fun fact. There's Hats Off Media, and then I think there's like Hats Off Entertainment. It's very confusing. I'm not sure what the deal is with those things. I'm sorry to call you out. Hats Off Media, who might still be here, I don't know. But there's a cool video about a Blazing Saddles TV show that was in production for several seasons because of a weird contract thing, but none of it aired. Only one episode aired as a pilot, but they kept it in production because as long as the TV show was in production, they could make a sequel, and they just kept a TV show in production and just never aired it. So, yeah, check. It's a cool video. Just type in Hats Off Blazing Saddles. If anyone wants to find that and put it in the chat, it would be appreciated, but no one has to. I'm not sorry if I bring up these things and make people do that. But it's a fascinating, like, lost media thing. Like, it's literally a show created for a contractual thing that Mel Brooks put in. Anyway, thank you for bringing it. I wanted to share that, actually, Niji Kichu, so thank you. Anyway, so now we're going to get probably, I guess this is the biggest story of the week, sort of, was that Velma from Scooby-Doo is confirmed to be gay, at least in Mystery Incorporated. Now, there's like a lot of misinformation about this, and it seems like people are like, well, Velma's gay now because, you know, the media and stuff, and it's like, oh my god, you guys, like, please just do a simple Google search. So, basically, here's how this happened. The producer of Mystery Incorporated, as well as the director of Scoob, posted a post on Instagram showing the picture that I have on the thumbnail of this video of Velma and Marcy Hot Dog Water. Jesus. Together saying, like, pride and confirming that Velma, at least in Mystery Incorporated, is gay. Now, let me read the actual quote on the actual Instagram thing, which is crucial to what everyone's saying on this, because it sort of shows they didn't do research, which is annoying. Marcy and Velma, Mystery Incorporated. I obviously don't represent every version of Velma Dinkley, but I am one of the key people that represents this one. We made our intentions as clear as we could 10 years ago. Most of our fans got it. To those that didn't, I suggest you look closer. There's no news here. That is true. It was very obvious before. I also know James Gunn has said previous to this that he had wrote Velma gay, but and then he tried to make it subtle, and the studio wouldn't go for it. This is not really news, and this is not, he brings up that this doesn't represent every version of Velma at all, actually. He's saying it's just Mystery Incorporated. He did not bring up Scoob, the recent movie. He did not bring up, all the other versions of Scooby-Doo that lots of people consume. Quick fact. In the live action James Gunn Scooby-Doo, a scene was cut of Fred checking out Daphne, but also Velma checking out Daphne as well. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, there we go. Research is for chumps. Real man know everything. Zay Powers. Thank you, DJ Kichu, again. And thank you, Zane Powers. That's interesting. I didn't know there was a scene cut. Because he was... Anyway. But it is interesting that, we are getting confirmed that the first movie that was intended, but the studio didn't let it go. But at least, we sort of... If you've seen Mystery Incorporated, I thought it was always very obvious. Sort of seems he just sort of like brought it up, and since he is a major part of Scooby-Doo and what's going on from sorry, still Ryan's chat. Anyway, sorry, it shouldn't make me laugh. Anyway, but it is interesting because he is such a big part of Scooby-Doo, and he did just direct Scoob, which is how most kids are understanding Scooby-Doo now, and all those things like that. So, but it just Mystery Incorporated, just kind of confirming a thing we already know. Anyone who's saying, "Oh, she's just gay of all time," and in the old ones, that's not necessarily what they're saying. As well as, I really, absolutely hate when people bring up that she dated Shaggy, so then she's not a lesbian. People's sexuality is like a changing thing, and there's lots of people who are now out as gay who did date the opposite sex, so it's like not that crazy. And like I don't understand. Like I would love to. People like that have no empathy. It's just I went down a bad internet rabbit hole, and I'm just venting. I guess I wanted to check out like what's the whole deal with this story. I want to make sure I have good things to say, and it just made me. Yeah. Anyway, Velma is great. I don't know. It just in Mystery Incorporated is great. I think we all agreed. Is everyone in the chat cool with Mystery Incorporated? Anyway. But it's also Shaggy was not good for her and all that stuff. So anyone who's acting like this is publicized as the media now, you didn't watch Mystery Incorporated, you didn't research it. Fuck you. But I think this is cool that they brought up. I think there's a lot of classic characters in animation and classic characters throughout major IP that do have that are gay that we don't talk about enough, really. And it should show, hey, Velma, there's a lot of little kids who still... Scooby-Doo's a huge property, and there's a lot of kids who watch Velma, and that character represents a lot to them. So I actually do think it was good to just bring that up again. And for him to say that was really cool, as he is one of the major archetypes of Scooby-Doo right now. So anyway. Also, anyone who makes a video and just looks up, Velma's gay, getting out the YouTube channel upload is just... awful person. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry. I just had to vent on that. There's a Lower Decks trailer. It looks cool. There's been some backlash because it looks like Rick and Morty. Whatever. Let's put a pin in that for a second. But it did actually look really fun. If I could watch it on some service, I'm not getting CBS All Access, but if it's on TV or something, I have talked about my thoughts on Scoob. There's a whole video on it, Dark Lord of Cats. You should check it out. But thank you for asking. And on Twitter a lot, because my daughter watches Scoob a lot. So I like all these nice haircuts. You can tell when people show up, because they're like, nice haircut, making me feel good. I should really have remembered the name of the place. I got the impression the haircuts don't want me as their Southern accent is fitting. Should I just do a whole episode? Why should I wear a mask? Goddamn conspiracies. Anyway, but Lower Decks actually looks really fun. I thought it looked really cool. Actually made me more hyped than Solar Opposites, a similar Rick and Morty looking show. The Rick and Morty's art style, here's the thing with the art style. This is not a new thing in animation. I don't know why people go on like, oh, it's Cal art style, it's Rick and Morty's. That's how animation is in various eras. Rick and Morty is a hugely popular show. You hire people to do Rick and Morty. You have them make your similar shit. That's why Ruby Spears crap look like Hanna-Barbera and you can't tell them apart half the time. It's just like, I don't understand how the history of animation works. There's no way that this wouldn't be, there's always like a style that people overuse, and it's just the Rick and Morty style because it's so hugely popular. It's like, I don't think it's a big deal. It's just like, that's the history of animation, guys. Like, everything looked like fucking Felix the Cat in the 20s. Like, show me an era where this wasn't the case. It's just whatever. Oh, hey, Catbot, have you seen the new Scooby-Doo and Guess Who show? They had a musical episode recently. It was cool. I haven't. Thank you, Catbot. Cheers to you. I haven't. I might check it out because we're watching What's New Scooby-Doo. That seems to be the one Sophie likes a lot, and we're watching that, and that one's better for kids. So maybe I'll check out Guess Who. I think Guess Who's on something. Anyway, cheers to you, Cornbread. Ryan's making me laugh a lot today. I like Ryan's like, hi, hey, I say, hey, what's up? It's Jim, son. Boy's about as sharp as a bowling ball. I knew this is going to be a wacky show because there's not much to talk about. Anyway, so Sponge on the Run, the international rights have gone to Netflix. This isn't that shocking. It seems like much like what happened with Scoob, and the international rights went to Netflix there. Sorry. The international went there. Alex says, hey man, nice shot, nickel bag is the horn mix. Okay, that's the horn. We were talking about this before. I was talking to him before, and we were talking about Filter, and I was saying that I like that. Hey man, that everyone check that out if you know the Filter song. Hey man, nice shot. Cheers to you, Alex. How's it going? This is definitely a wacky Jim movie crowd. Next week I'll be like, there's so much Comic-Con news, I'm crying. I cry on the stream, I guess. I just cry after. Anyway, so Sponge on the Run got to Netflix. That's similar to what they're doing with Scoob. They're really just trying to make any money they can. Paramount's really selling off anything they can at this point to just make some money. A lot of studios are. It's not a bad idea. I'm surprised they didn't do this overall. Hey, William Ellman. How's it going? But I do think it probably would have made more sense since Viacom is selling stuff off to do Sponge on the Run. Hey, look, this COVID thing's going to go on for a while. Thanksgiving's going to kind of suck. I would have actually liked to have Sponge on the Run on Thanksgiving on Netflix. I think would be a better idea. Don't make this into a Hulu New Mutants thing and act like this is a real thing or some shit. But I think that would be cool. But most likely there's no announcement of a release date or anything like that going on right now. So, yeah. Alright, so according to Bill Pope, he said that what happened with the Matrix sequels, and he basically talked about how because of Stanley Kubrick and how he hates Stanley Kubrick, and if he came back to life, he would kill him, because he really hated working with the Wachowskis on the Matrix sequels because they did so many different they watched so many different they wanted so many different takes, much like Stanley Kubrick, and it became exhausting. It was a very long shoot and everything like that. And this was on on Roger Deakins' podcast, which I'm now phone. Now you're being weird. The Team Deakins podcast had Bill Pope on to talk about his career. It's actually a really good podcast. Oh, awesome. I'm sorry you're having super chat problems. It's a really good podcast. Roger Deakins is probably the greatest cinematographer living, and Bill Pope is actually one of my favorite cinematographers. He shot Scott Pilgrim, he shot Baby Driver, he shot all 3 Matrix movies, he shot Spider-Man 2. He does not get into very much Edgar Wright stuff, at least as far as I've listened to. He talks about directing all of Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Regardless of, I would have liked him to talk about Team America as well. He doesn't go into those, which sucks. But he does say some interesting things. But he just says that the Matrix, the Matrix sequels were a tough shoot, and it really did. It sucks. And both him and Roger Deakins talk about how doing like 90 takes doesn't actually really work very well, because even in these famous shots that you're aware of Stanley Kubrick, they're both like, I've always heard you use take one, so why did you do 90 takes? And they both talk about how like sometime, I mean, these are like, by the way, when I talk about Roger Deakins, is like, he shot 1917 recently, he shot Blade Runner, he shot Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. He's just, it's crazy how much stuff he shot. Roger Deakins is an amazing cinematographer, and then Bill Pope is an amazing one too. And if they say, really, you should shoot things this way, and they're being very unpretentious about it, it makes you go, oh, maybe that is the right way, because they're both amazing. So it's a good podcast. I would really recommend it. I really listened to it as more of a treat, and I wanted to recommend this podcast because it's really good. But I mean, I'm serious right now. Like to have a master filmmaker like Roger Deakins have a podcast is a real luxury that anyone who's interested in filmmaking. And Roger Deakins works on comes up with lighting and stuff for DreamWorks, and also with Wall-E, but he did it for the How to Train Your Dragon movies, and he talks about that in an episode I haven't gotten to yet. But the Bill Pope one is interesting. He talks about the main thing with the Matrix thing is there was like personal issues they were having, but as well as like they were too kind of pretentious and asking for too many takes, and there's too many suits involved, and sort of like everything you think. So it was interesting to hear his perspective on that. But seriously, if you're into movies and you're like into making film and filmmaking, check out the Team Deakins podcast. It's fucking amazing, and like you should just be devouring it. I'm going to be listening to everyone at some point. So anyway, there's more of this podcast is amazing, and the fact that I got to hear Deakins talk to Bill Pope is like a cinephile dream for me. So anyway, I noticed everyone else is just talking about Scott Pilgrim. So according to people who are like experts and stuff, Tenet is not going to make its August release date, which is crazy. It was also confirmed to be over 2 hours, which is sort of like a regular Christopher Nolan thing. I'm not really surprised by that, but I think we'll see what happens. I think Tenet's going to get moved back, and I honestly think it might not be this year, because I don't think Bond's going to move, and Bond's taking up Thanksgiving, and that would be too similar. So I think Tenet probably will have to go to next year. I think we're really at that point. They're just, I mean, are they just going to do this 2-week thing until they move it to next year? Because at a certain point, once they get into November, they're just going to have to push it back. It's just, I think they should face the reality that theaters aren't opening this year. But anyway, so the 30 Rock reunion special, I did not see it, but it became sort of a controversial thing because a lot of NBC stations would not air it because it was mainly a hyped up thing for Peacock, the streaming service, and a lot of these these TV stations who had it. Oh, should we start the campaign Justice for Nolan? LOL. No, you shouldn't. But you know, if Nolan from Pizza Party ever gets locked up, then you should, I guess. But cheers to you. Okay. But anyway, this special was mainly an advertisement. There seems to be a fight over the affiliates from various... Sorry, my eye is being itchy. The affiliates and NBC itself over Peacock and refusing to air kind of Peacock stuff. Apparently over the sports stuff, the sports streams as well, which is part of the whole Peacock thing as well. And this became sort of a turning point for them. Peacock, it's interesting, like, it seems like with all these streaming services, and when we got with Peacock as well, is that they're not really like ironing out all the details and protecting everyone. So, well, No Time to Die, did it move away? Well, that's true. Well, No Time to Die has moved already. So, good point, Will. Good point. Cheers to you. And nice to see you here. But anyway, it's sort of interesting, and that the 30 Rock special was mainly an advertisement for Peacock, which is just ridiculous. I don't know. It just seemed like there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, and it's just interesting. They had a big thing like, hey, we're getting 30 Rock together to sell Peacock, and the affiliates were like, no, you're stealing our business, and we don't really want that to happen. So they didn't really launch effectively, since most people wouldn't air it. But then wouldn't they have, in fact, made Peacock more valuable, because then people had to watch it on Peacock? Maybe they didn't think of that. Two Nolans and two Izzies. Which one is the real one? Oh, no. That's funny. I like that, Austin. You got to super chat then. I saw the Marky Mark and Fungi Bunch thing. That would have been a funny one, too. But cheers to you, Austin. So, Grandad on Boondocks. Basically, his son... so, John... This I do have on my phone. So, John Witherspoon's son, J.D. Witherspoon, made a very long video, which I didn't watch all of, to be honest with you, about how he tried to audition to play Grandad on Boondocks, and he has done an impression of his dad on the Joe Rogan show and a couple other places, my understanding. And he is a voice actor, and he tried to audition, and he wasn't really being treated very well, and they kind of like didn't even know he was they're like barely knew he was a voice actor and stuff. It just seemed like they just really didn't treat him that well. Supposedly they have an actor in mind to play Grandad. We do not know who that is. I've heard rumors, but they're not confirmed, and I'm not going to bring up just seem like Twitter fan casting. So, mainly I've just heard Sam Jackson, who was on the show before, but I was like, why? Anyway, and that I don't think it could be true. I don't know. So, it just sounds unfortunate they didn't handle it well, and he's like, his dad, gave all this great entertainment, died recently. And it's sort of sad that they couldn't just treat him better. It just sounds like he wasn't really included as much as he probably should have been. Or let's say look, your dad's impression's funny, but we kind of want to get more of a name and all this stuff. What if we made, put you in a different role or something? I think that would have been actually more appropriate, but it just seems like they sort of disregarded him, and it gave him a lot of stress, and it really wasn't fair. So I think the Boondocks and HBO Max could have handled that a lot better and more appropriately. It doesn't make me... I am sort of worried about a new Boondocks, because Boondocks represented a lot, and I feel like if there's any time in history, they're using an AI. Wait, really? I heard it was a different... Really? Really? Anyway, that sounds weird. But we'll see what's going on with that one. But yeah, I do hope that a new Boondocks would happen, because I feel like now is a really good time for Boondocks, and I think a really great time for Boondocks. Like, holy shit! And I feel like if they were to nail it, I think that would be really awesome. So we'll see. All right, where are we at now? Okay, so a Usagi Jojimbo, I hope I'm saying that right, animated series is coming to Netflix with... He did say that? See, I didn't... Oh, with a new... that's... I don't think that makes sense. I think they're going to do a different... See, all the articles said it was just a different casting, so he might have been... That's weird. That's weird. That's a weird thing. Anyway. Okay, well, I should have watched that long-ass thing then. Oh, well. Anyway, Usagi Jojimbo. Okay. Well, anyway, Usagi Jojimbo, who I mostly know from Ninja Turtles, even though he's not part of the Mirage thing, is going to be an anime show on Netflix with James Wan producing, I think. That sounds actually really cool. I think that character... I've always liked that character since I was a little kid. I really never read the comics. I mainly know him from Netflix. From Ninja Turtles. So, I think it would be cool. I think it's a cool character. I think they could do a lot with him. But, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see about that. Sounds like a cool thing. Man, Netflix is really bringing them in. And another Netflix thing, the trailer for Project Power. This is a cool concept, at least. It has these characters who basically take these pills, and it gives them a superpower. I'm never sure what one you're going to get. I wasn't sure, is this each pill is a different superpower, or each person gets different superpowers? Wasn't sure about that. But it has Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and this guy who's trying to get the supply of that because his kid was, I think, killed by something. I don't know. It looks cool. The whole concept looks really neat. Looks like a perfect thing for Netflix. I think Jamie Foxx is gonna try to sort of be coming back right around now, which is cool. I really like Jamie Foxx. So, I think, I don't know. Looks like a cool movie. And I like kind of the superhero concept, the idea of if you took a drug, you could be a superhero. kind of thing. I think is a cool one, actually. All right, so there is a Wishbone movie in development. Peter Farrelly is producing. I don't know why Peter Farrelly is producing. That sounds weird. But a Wishbone movie seems to be Mattel and Universal are trying to do something with Wishbone right now. That AI thing is real? That sounds so weird to me. Anyway, I'm still like, I really don't believe that is a thing. I read several stories about that, and everyone said there's other casting going on, and I think that just sounds crazy. Anyway, maybe I should have watched that. Anyway, I'll leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. So, but there's a Wishbone movie in development. It sounds like it could be a cool thing. I also think because this is happening at Universal, if they're ever going to sell this to a streaming service, which depending on how they feel about Peacock and all that stuff, they could do it on there. But I don't know if people would go to a theater to see a Wishbone movie. To be honest with you, I know Wishbone was very popular and very big, but whatever. And also, I think you could do better effects with Wishbone. I don't know. I guess it's because people who watch Wishbone are now having kids, and they're like, "Oh, you take your kids to see it." Like, I used to like the Wishbone, so yeah, there we go. Wishbone. There's a movie. Peter Farrelly's involved, which is weird. The Farrelly brothers are helping make a PBS movie. They made Green Book. Maybe their careers are the joke now. Maybe that's the twist to the Farrelly brothers. I wish that were true. Anyway, so there was a list of the biggest movies on Netflix. The top 10 biggest movies of all time on Netflix. And that, with the numbers of the people that watch them, or the amount of people that watch them. And here they are. This is in a Forbes article. I'm going to count them down, I guess, from 10 and tell you the numbers. These are crazy numbers. And some of them I'm surprised by. Now, one is The Perfect Date, got 48 million views. The Platform, which is actually the most, probably what surprised most people. Oh, here we go. Ryan Walterson said Mattel's producing because they own Wishbone along with other hit entertainment stuff like Barney, Thomas and Friends, and Bob the Builder, and Pingu. Oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you, Ryan Walterson. Cheers to you. Oh, killed the Red Bull there. All right. Yeah, I guess they bought. Man, that's so weird that they own Wishbone. They own everything. Anyway, so Perfect Date, 48 million. That's the 10th one. The Platform, which I haven't seen. I heard a lot about. I'm surprised it has that many at 56 million. The Wrong Missy, another big surprise, to be honest with you, with 59 million. Triple Frontier with 63 million. The Irishman actually is in the top 10, which is super surprising, with 64 million. Murder Mystery, which is the highest of the Adam Sandler movies, at 73 million. Let's see. Oh, Six Underground, the Ryan Reynolds movie, with 83 million. Spencer Confidential, which I did watch and is horrible, at 85 million. Bird Box, which just reminds me at some point I should watch Bird Box. It's been a long time. 89 million. I never saw Bird Box. I don't know why. And then number one most watched Netflix movie of all time, original movie at least, is Extraction with 99 million, which is crazy. It should be noted that I think people took on a lot of these numbers and they're like, if these films had made this amount with this amount of money, it would be, this huge, gigantic hit. And just in America, it'd be like the highest grossing movie of all time or something. I think what Netflix is doing is there's probably certain movies from the 80s and 90s that if you took on how many times they were watched in like a video store, like rented on video and bought on video and then watched on TV and stuff like this, Netflix is basically crunching all those numbers and giving you an exact thing. And if we look at what's going on, they're giving you the exact thing, right? And so we're actually getting the numbers. Like, let's say Goodfellas, which people watched on DVD constantly. If we had every time someone watched Goodfellas in the 90s, it would probably have like 90 million views and all that stuff. So I think they're basically able to count all the views of people watching things at home. And we previously just sort of didn't know. We were guessing. We knew what the money was. Or like particularly like the Bourne Identity, I know made $100 million, the first Bourne film. on VHS, on Blockbuster and video rentals. Just rentals, not even on demand. There's even bigger now. A ton of money. So that would probably be in this thing as well. It really should be counted more as that, because I don't think like Extraction would be that big. Like if that came out, it would be lucky to make $99 million total. But it shows you like how people will consume these movies different. I know people are less interested in talking about any of these films other than The Platform, which I should really see, and Bird Box. Most of them people didn't really want to talk about. So it's interesting that these numbers are so high because they are insane. But yeah, it's also crazy. Spencer Confidential is third. I thought it was second. What told me before? The other thing I don't like about the Netflix thing, I've noticed with their top 10, people go, if you think of it, since they've had a top 10, Avatar's been 7 this whole time. Like, we don't know what those numbers are. Like, there's no like way to report that accurately. Like, I really don't like. Same with like this thing about Hulu in Palm Springs this week. People were saying like it's the most watched original Hulu movie, but like in what, like how are we actually figuring that out? Like, what is like in what does that represent? Like, what do the numbers mean? Like all these things, and like we have like no clue on how to do it. So it's just like how to measure it, and it's just like kind of believing that their top 10 is completely accurate. We have no numbers to back that up, and everyone goes, yeah, sure, and it's like weird. I just don't really like it. Anyway, Javier Portello says thoughts on the live action Magic School Bus movie. I talked about that a couple weeks ago, but I think it sounds cool. Elizabeth Banks is involved. I don't think it has a director. Cheers to you. But much like with Wishbone and what Universal's doing with all their kind of kid entertainment, they're really trying to build up all these various different brands. They're trying to be basically the other house that makes kids entertainment, family entertainment that isn't Disney. And the best way to do that is to use Magic School Bus. I can see people seeing Magic School Bus with Elizabeth Banks. It sounds like a cool thing. They need a director involved, though. Until they have a director, I don't know how far it's really going to go. But it sounds possible they actually have a pretty big producer and star. So we'll see. Needs a director, though, Then I'll take it, and I think everyone else will take it, and a date also. So, Uncharted is in production. Yes. This week, Uncharted is officially in production. How? I don't know. Does it make sense? No. It's weird, but it's in production. It's in production, apparently. They've finally done it. Corona couldn't stop it. It's in production, I guess pre-production, but it's happening. Uncharted. Good for you. You finally did it. Anyway, moving on. Cool. Is it, though? Is it? Thank you, Jorge. Is it? Tom Holland is still Nathaniel Drake, apparently. Or is he? Did he hear it was in production and goes, it is? Should I show up somewhere? And they're like, no, don't worry. You'll show up. And he's like, no, I don't know where it is. Anyway, so in other news, there is a new Fletch movie. And this sounds like it's actually sort of going to happen. People seem to believe it. And it's going to star John Hamm as Fletch. And then the director of Superbad, Greg Mottola, directing it. This Fletch movie is going to be based on a different Fletch book than the Fletch book that the first one was based on. Fletch, there's two movies. It's like Fletch Lives and Fletch, both starring Chevy Chase. The first Fletch, really good, actually. I really like that movie. The second one I've always heard is really bad. They've been trying to make a Fletch spinoff from, I guess since like Jason Lee was going to make one with Kevin Smith in the 90s. That was one that was talked about a while. The guy who created Scrubs was going to make his directorial debut with a Fletch movie that they were talking about for a while that may or may not have had Zach Braff involved, depending on which article you read. But they've been trying to do another Fletch film. I think because the first one shows a lot of promise. It's a great like comic mystery kind of thing, and we don't have a lot of those. And they honestly, of the two times they tried, they only nailed it once. It is probably my favorite Chevy Chase movie, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I think John Hamm, we've talked about him being a movie star for a very long time, and this sounds like a good starring comedy vehicle for him. And I think Greg Mottola could do it. It's apparently going to be more of a crime movie that's funny than a funny movie with crime. So it's a different take at least, and I think that could be cool. But yeah, you should see the first Fletch. I recommend it. So what we're going to see more of is, and the Batman announced it's going to shoot mainly in studios because basically no one really wants to shoot outside right now. We're going to see a lot of that, as well as a thing that we keep hearing about is you're going to need a 25% insurance cost of your budget for corona-related expenses. But we're seeing that a lot right now with a lot of productions, but apparently Batman is going to be shooting in studio, and Uncharted maybe is shooting too, so that's a thing. Zane Power says, why is Chevy Chase such a jerk? I have no clue, and it's really ruined his reputation, I will say, because I think he sometimes can be funny, but he also has made a ton of terrible things as well. So, yeah, cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you very much for the super chat. All right, so there is going to be a Cats and Dogs 3 this September. Don't worry, I know you're excited. I think it's a VOD thing. That's what impression I got. I don't know the Cats and Dogs thing. I don't know about any of that, but there's going to be a Cats and Dogs 3. Apparently there might be an all-out war between cats and dogs, and they have to solve it. So there you go. Cats and Dogs 3. From Javier Portello, thoughts on the live-action Clifford movie? I don't know much about it. I think it could, I mean, I don't know when it's coming out. I think it could be a big kids thing, especially seeing a big red dog like in a live-action setting. If they do it right, I think it could be cool, but I don't really have many thoughts on that other than that. But cheers to you, Javier. Cheers to you. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Cats and Dogs 3 didn't look. I kept reading Tobey Maguire was in it. Is he in them, or am I don't know. Anyway. So apparently there's talk of a Atomic Blonde 2, and Charlize Theron confirms that it is being developed at Netflix. That makes sense because of her film The Old Guard, which apparently did really well and stuff. That's cool. I really like Atomic Blonde. I think it makes absolutely no sense. But we'll see about that. I wouldn't mind if we get kick-ass Charlize Theron movies just on Netflix. I'd be cool with that. So I'm a big fan of Atomic Blonde. I watch it way too much. It's junky, it's silly, it's stupid, but I would be very into watching Atomic Blonde 2. Hold on. We got 2 super chats before I move on. Austin said, every 10 years there must be a Cats and Dogs movie to appease the gods. Cheers to you, Austin. Oh, Austin, you just remind me what I didn't do. How do you feel about cats being evil in Cats and Dogs? I don't love that. St. Powers. I don't love that. Cheers to you. I realized I forgot to shout out for the soup. I do not hate you, Jorge. I'm sorry. I can't get every question. There will be a question part at the end. I have not seen The Old Guard. I'm actually going to watch it while I do the time code after this. This is my plan. You should check out the Discord. I'm so sorry I forgot about the Discord. But it's an awesome... If you like hanging out in the chat, or you're watching this later and like, I'd like to hang out with these people. They seem fun. You can literally do that anytime on the Discord server. Join it. It's in the description down below. I know Austin shared how he was actually shot. How he actually went to the school... school where they shot Degrassi, sorry. And other things. You can ask me questions anytime. There's an Ask Jim channel. There's the suggestions for Jim channel. There are other things where you don't have to interact with me about movie chat. You can give me stories to talk about on the show. All sorts of stuff. See it. Or go to it. It's cool. I love the Discord. I go to it as much as I can. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going to move away. I'm very goofy. Really? We're doing Clone Hide? Yeah. Alright. Austin was shot? Oh, no. So, I don't know the video game Just Cause at all, but the director of Stuber and, Zane Powers went to the school where they shot Glee? Wow. That's crazy. You're still going to this... Anyway. Austin's okay. Don't worry. But yeah, the video game Just Cause is going to be given a live action movie, whatever, from the director Mike Dowse, who did was it Coffee and Cream and Stuber, and it sounds like this is actually sort of moving forward with this guy. He's done more of indie action things. It's kind of a big. It's not in the description. I'm pretty sure it is. Should be. Should be. Did it get deleted when I deleted all this stuff? Maybe it did. Yeah, might. Okay. Well, anyway, I will get you this. Someone get him the Discord thing while I finish this. I'm sorry about that. Coffee and Kareem. Oh, see, I didn't even see this movie. It's got all this stuff in it. But, oh, he did Goon? Didn't know that. Didn't know that. There are multiple schools. They didn't. So Degrassi's not one school. Anyway, there's the Discord server. Sorry, it should be in there. Oh, I guess I deleted a lot of stuff. Oh well. Well, it'll go back after that. Sorry about that. There's always stuff because I have to. Anyway, whatever. Sorry. But anyway, yes, the Just Cause movie seems like it's moving forward. There's some doubt because this guy's mainly done indie kind of action comedy things. If this will work for him, but we'll see. It seems to be moving forward. There was a great podcast about Don Bluth's invasion of Ireland and how he started the Ireland animation industry, which you should check out. It was I actually didn't know some of those things. I actually thought it was really cool. So check that out if you haven't. How many more? Okay, not too many things. Not too many things. Where are we? Sorry, I got lost in my script there. Oh, yeah, we're towards the end here. Okay, so China's theaters talk about reopening, and one of the catches of their reopening is that the movies have to be under 2 hours, and there's no concessions at all, because there's this kind of thing people keep bringing up when they want to do movie screenings. They're like, well, these movies are going to be under 2 hours, so we're fine, which is sort of like so weird to me. Like, I don't understand how that makes any sense, but yes, so apparently they're going to do a thing now. China theaters are doing this. I also learned that apparently when they made an Attack of the Clones, this is just in this article from Forbes, when they made Attack of the Clones for IMAX, it was over 2 hours, so they had to cut things because the film would be too long to fit on the film blotter there in the projection booth, so they had to shorten the film to 2 hours. So somewhere there's a 2 hour cut of Attack of the Clones, which sounds like mercifully better than what Attack of the Clones is. But I learned that also. But it's interesting, I have heard that as well from when Telluride got canceled this week. One of their ideas was, well, the movies won't be that long, so they won't be in the same space as long, which I don't think that is how coronavirus works, but there's been a lot of talk of like making movies shorter so you don't get infected, but I think it's like, I don't think it takes us like, it's not like if you're around someone for 3 hours then you get coronavirus. I think it's like an hour and it shouldn't be whatever. But that's apparently one of their things in China when they're reopening theaters, is that films cannot be over 2 hours. So I kind of like that because I don't really love movies that are super long, so I think that could be cool. But that's an interesting development that I know has been popping up recently. So you couldn't actually see Tenet in China. So I guess they're going to still release it. So 2 trailers came out. One, a trailer for Howard about, weird, Will's here. Big super chat there. Thank you very much, Will. Recent development has occurred with lost great upcoming screenwriter Christopher McBride, education of Frederick Fitzel, with a recent podcast interview going into his creative process. Great stuff. Check it out. Okay, could you post a link to that, Will, in the chat? That would be appreciated. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Thank you very much. Cheers. Always good stuff to check out. Oh. Thank you very much, Will. That was very nice of you. All right. And I actually have this thing that Will, oddly enough, that Will sent me. Which is, I've heard about this before. Brandon Cronenberg's Possessors has a trailer and a poster that came out this week. No date. There's talk of it going to VOD. I think that's probably what's going to happen right now. But it looks really, really cool. It is probably the best trailer I saw this week. And it has this idea of these people who will go into other people's minds, make them do like an assassination, kill someone, and then kill them and go away, basically. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But it's a lot of body horror, and apparently, like, this person goes in the body, and, like, Christopher Abbott's there, and they, like, can't do it or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. Ignore all that. It's just someone goes in someone's body and kills them. We haven't seen it, but it looks... I'm screwing this up. But it is literally the best trailer I saw this week, and it's one of the best trailers I've seen. And it's currently one of my most anticipated movies, other than the Charlie Kaufman thing, and then Mank from David Fincher. So I'm really excited. I hope people keep saying there's going to be a date announced, and it just like they had this big like press thing and a cool poster, a cool trailer, and then nothing. So I think they're just kind of testing the waters, but apparently they're saying it won't sell. I've heard a lot of people say online and everything that it won't sell to a streaming service because it would have to go unrated, and it might go VOD instead of a streaming service. And they're trying to test the waters in terms of social media interest, but I was really interested in this. That looks really, really cool. Screenings of Tenet won't have chairs. Alright. Now, moving on. The biggest Netflix movie was announced this week, and it is actually a franchise, believe it or not. It is called The Gray Man, I guess. Is going to star Ryan Gosling. It's based on a 2009 book, Mark Gurney novel that introduced the Gray Man, a freelance assassin and former CIA operative, Court Gentry, I guess. Gentry will be played by Ryan Gosling, and he will come back for various things. It will be like his franchise, and Chris Evans will actually play the bad guy. The Russo brothers, it sounds like, are going to direct, which sounds actually really cool. I actually really like Chris Evans when he plays against type. Seems like that's more of what he's interested in right now. And it sounds like a cool idea. I'm curious if the Russo brothers just want to start this franchise. And they seem to be doing a lot with Netflix, with Extraction and then this, which one of them wrote and produced and then so forth. So this sounds actually like it could be a big hit. And I think Ryan Gosling really needs like a big movie. I know it hasn't really worked out for him. He's a movie star, but he's like more famous for being cool and stuff and less for having huge movies. So although Drive is amazing. So yeah. Alright, Falcon and Winter Soldier apparently will not make its Disney Plus date. Duh. So no new date was announced, but it's not going to come out in August. Even though I think they probably won't announce a new thing. Anyway, so Comic-Con at-home panels. There's really not a bunch to talk about with those. I think that will be my last thing, and then I'll go into... Obituaries. Just deleted a bunch of crap because it's getting late. There's a couple Comic-Con panels I wanted to bring up. One is the Close Enough panel is happening 3 to 4 on Thursday. So on Thursday we're going to pretty much get New Mutants and then Close Enough. If I was going to announce a second season of Close Enough, I would say Thursday at 3 would be the time that they would do it. Seems like a good time to do it. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just saying that would be a good time. We'll see. And then on Friday at 10 a.m., there's going to be an in-depth interview with Charlize Theron about her action hero career. I didn't really see a bunch of other stuff I was honestly that interested in. It seems kind of a weaker Comic-Con year. But I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff you guys will post in the chat and go, what about this thing and that thing? I'm sure I forgot about that. But we'll see. Anyway, no, every panel, I think it goes until Saturday, Jay. So, I know a lot... So, with Obituaries this week, Kelly Preston died earlier in this week. I will say I don't know if I saw her in too many movies, but I always kind of liked seeing her. She had a very, like, wonderful presence about her, and I always felt like she could have been in more. I always thought that would... Oh, they're Pacific time. Didn't know that. Okay, anyway. But the Kelly Preston died this week. We didn't know about her long fight with cancer. That's very sad. She was the wife also of John Travolta. as well as there's a Mystery Science Theater panel. Is there? I didn't know that. Oh, anyway, thank you for being here, Dark Lord of Cats. As well as Brenda Kemp, I saw died this week as well. She was on Fridays and After MASH and a bunch of other stuff. I know the guy, also Naya Rivera, whose body was found this week, which is very tragic and sad, that whole situation. And I did actually watch Glee at the beginning. It was actually pretty good, and I feel like she was always underappreciated as an actress. As well as the guy from Mythbusters. I don't really know Mythbusters as well as most people, so I don't really have amazing things to say, but he sounds like a really good guy. And I'm sure there's other people, Jelly Preston. I noticed it autocorrects to people with Kelly Preston. That happened to me a couple times. Anyway, so I'm going to take a quick break. When I get back, I'm going to talk about Unsolved Mysteries, Tummy Trouble, and then talk about Peacock finally. Yeah. So before we do that, I actually have a surprise. Sort of. Hold on. Let me get my script. Well, no, it's not in a good place. I don't like that. Okay. Anyway. Alright, you go away. Alright, so I wanted to do, since I learned how to play video, I'm going to play this video while I'm in the bathroom, because I thought that would be cool. So enjoy this little video, and I will be back right after this. I muted my mic. Sorry. Oh, man. Shouldn't have done that. I muted it so it wouldn't mess up. See, I'll put in the chat because there's a delay. I keep seeing this. I prefer subbed. We can't hear him. Okay, anyway. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, I didn't really go to the bathroom, so I was in the shower, so... Anyway, I think I'll be okay. So, no pee for me. Yeah, that's all I said. No, I just muted it because I didn't want to mess up the audio of the thing. But anyway, that was a clip from like 2 years ago, maybe. I was just going through a hard drive and found it. It played on my public access show movie stuff. Once I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did, but I haven't really used it on anything else. So anytime I'm gonna find like a weird thing I made that I didn't have a place for, I'm gonna put it on here. Could be fun, you know, during the break. Could be cool. I think it'd be cool. So that's what I'm gonna try to do since I know how to play videos now. All right. So, but hopefully I can make it without having to pee for the rest of the show. We'll see. I don't know if this show will go as long. I have like an hour. I don't like to go past 12:30, so we'll see about all this. But first thing, so let me get some water there. All right. Sorry about the silence, guys. All right. So my first segment, I wanted to talk about the Netflix Unsolved Mysteries reboot. If you didn't know, I've talked about it a few times on the stream. I think this is the only places I've talked about it. I'm actually a big I'm a big Unsolved Mysteries fan of the original classic run with Robert Stack. I watched those. Whoa, Mike! No more Mike problems. Oh no, the second half of the show is cursed. What are you doing? Let's just leave you. Okay, what do you... Suddenly you got weird. It was like, don't forget about me. I'm how people hear me. Hear you. Whatever. What happened? Buster knock you over at some point? Okay. There you go. Mike's okay. Anyway, is there really a Mystery Science Theater thing? I guess there is. Anyway, I'll have to look at... You know what's funny? I couldn't find a ton of info on the panels. Should have... Whatever. I'll have more info next week on the panels. Sorry. So, Unsolved Mysteries. So if you didn't know, I'm a big fan of the original Unsolved Mysteries show with Robert Stack. When I used to be able to have a job where I'd go in to work, when I do paperwork, I used to actually watch the Robert Stack episodes while I did those, and they would freak me out and stuff. And I really like those. You can actually watch every Robert Stack episode on... I sent you a link of panel? Okay, sorry. Chat's distracting me. Every episode, every Robert Stack episode of Unsolved Mysteries is actually on YouTube. You can watch them for free. But this recent reboot, I actually really, for the most part, really liked. It's different because Unsolved Mysteries was traditionally a news magazine show. This new version on Netflix is not. It is a, I guess, docu-series, as you would say. The docu-series, it basically, instead of having multiple different stories going on throughout Unsolved Mysteries, and you can kind of pick and choose, especially when you're watching it now, you can just scroll through if you don't want to deal with whatever it is. On this, and that was my concern, is each one is a different Unsolved Mystery. Now, the other difference is they don't have an announcer. One of the best things about Unsolved Mysteries was Robert Stack, who would, like, narrate the whole thing, and he is a really great actor. He's such a good actor. This is actually... People don't talk about this enough with him in terms of Airplane, but he actually was part of the beginning of the airplane disaster genre, and then I think it was in High and the Mighty. He was in that, and then he ended up parodying it in Airplane. So he did both arcs of the same genre, and he's excellent in both. He's in Beavis and Butthead America, but he was also like really good at being spooky and creepy, and he was a great actor, and he was great on that show because he knew how to deliver it. And there was a previous reboot of Unsolved Mysteries with Dennis Farina or something. It was awful. They just repurposed old Unsolved Mysteries things and put like cool text on it. It was on Spike TV. It sucked. I hated it. This is different, is they don't have a narrator. It's just like made like a documentary. There's no one telling you what's going on. It's just like talking heads, as they call them, going throughout it. Now, basically, it becomes just a bunch of different crime things. They don't do what Unsolved Mysteries did. A lot of ghost stuff. They did a lot of alien stuff. There's only one like kind of weirder alien episode in here, which I kind of think they could have done more with that. They should have done a ghost episode, but it seems like they didn't want to get people too weirded out on Unsolved Mysteries. And I know when most people do those kind of YouTube review things, where they talk about, like Quentin Reviews did one, and he shows the most embarrassing special effects of Unsolved Mysteries, not like the alien stuff that would actually scare you. And in this, like, they don't actually show you alien spaceships. They just have lights go, like lens flary things going in the camera. It's really like, it's really weird, but it wasn't the greatest. But I will say, the ones I really liked, the first episode was about a guy who like jumps off a rooftop, and that was in Maryland. So it was like Unsolved Mysteries and in Baltimore, and I knew all the places, so that was kind of cool for me. I didn't know the mystery, and it was about a guy who was like really into movies from Maryland, and they weren't sure how he died or why he died and all these mysteries. That one I thought was really good. There's one that's actually subtitled, which I didn't love because I actually like watching the show while I do other things, and so I had to actually sit down and watch this one. But House of Terror is really chilling. It's about basically this dad who like kills his entire family and got away with it, and basically did it in this really creepy, awful way, and like buried the bodies. This is really creepy stuff. As well as like No Ride Home, which is about a black guy who's basically killed because people are racist. Actually, there's none I don't really like. I like pretty much all of them. I just wish there was a ghost one. The last one I will shout out, which was maybe the best one, called Missing Witness, is about a woman who, she's a woman who, she helped her mom commit murder, and like no one, and it looked like she was going to tell the police on her mom, and her mom would like just kill like various guys she'd lived with, over the years, and like, you know, get rid of the body and stuff. And the daughter knew all this stuff and had a son, and then the mom like killed her. And what's going on out there with the cats? Ugh, nothing good. Anyway, but whatever. And her mom ended up taking the kid. It was really creepy. Anyway, I enjoy Unsolved Mysteries. I'm sorry if I'm like going on the show that maybe you guys aren't as into. My main issues with it, though, however, are the theme song is usually more techno-y and like early hip hop influence, even though nobody recognizes it for that. But I think the person who made it was more into like early electronic music, and they try to class it up. Did not like that at all. That they use the same effects and sound effects and stuff and the sound design to make it like ooh spooky, but they try to make it like classy, like classy and stuff, and I really didn't like that. I sort of wish they'd just keep it towards like use the old effects in it, but whatever, that's what they chose to do. And I noticed at the end when it says Unsolved Mysteries in the theme song, they have a face that looks very much like Robert Stack, which I thought was very respectful. I like this reboot and what they did with it. It basically was the only way you could take this into being a new kind of a thing versus the old Unsolved Mysteries show. You couldn't do the news magazine thing again. It wouldn't have felt as relevant, and this was a good way that Netflix changed it. I wouldn't mind if they had David Harbour doing the narration and the hosting. I thought he would have been a good choice. He was never discussed. This is just Jim's weird theory on Unsolved Mysteries. And anyway, I'm going to move on because I feel like maybe this is boring. But I actually really liked it. I'm excited for more episodes. I know people have tried to solve various things on these Unsolved Mysteries. I hope that some of them do get solved. My only thing that I wonder is if you watch reruns of Unsolved Mysteries, they go update and then give you an update, and sometimes they be solved. And how are they going to do that with Netflix? Are they going to have an update special? Are they going to go back and put in the update part at the end when these things are updated? I think that would be cool. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, and I think they should come up with a resolution. Anyway, I like the new Unsolved Mysteries. I just wanted to say it somewhere and my thoughts on it, and I think this is sort of loose and weird, but yeah, it's a good reinterpretation of the classic Unsolved Mysteries and a good way to put. Oh no, it's actually very okay. It's a good way to reinterpret Unsolved Mysteries and do something cool with it and remake it into kind of more of docuseries was a good thing to do since it was all just a bunch of docuseries in a news magazine, and now it's just one docuseries, and they actually found compelling mysteries. So as long as they find a mystery that's compelling for an entire hour, this show's going to fucking work. And they did that, and I was very compelled and interested in it, so cool. Anyway, I think the cats are okay. Alright, so that was... I just need to get that. Sometimes these segments just become things Jim needs to tell someone about. Alright, so next up, let's get some water. Peacock review is... I'm going to do Roger Rabbit, Tummy Trouble, and then that... Oh, hold on. I'll share a clip at the questions later because Super Chat ain't letting me share links. Don't worry, it's cinema related and not a random video. Okay, it's hard for me to watch video with all this going on because this computer's older, but thank you, Blood Tea. Buster is the only star. Alright, oh, I have a comment. Let's read this comment that I got 20 minutes ago. Hold on. Oh, so someone's getting into it with me. Let's just go into Jim reads comments from his own dumb videos. From the Jim Henson, every Jim Henson company ever said, "You are wrong. Sesame Street is a Jim Henson creation," which Sesame Street is not part of, made by the Jim Henson Company. Ryan's going to go to this video right after this. And then I responded basically saying that, Sesame Street wasn't made by the Jim Henson Company. It's made by Children's Television Workshop, and there's a difference. And he said, and which I think I said in the video, it says, "How do you know that Sesame Street is part of the Jim Henson Company if it wasn't created by Jim's company?" How do I know Sesame Street was created by Jim Henson? I don't know. Anyway, it was help created by someone else also. I think Ryan's going to go into this. You can deal with this. Oh no, Ryan going to get heated. Yeah. Alright. So, at least I wasn't asking you about sleep. I got that whole comment chain. Oh, that's true. Alright. So, now I'm going to review... so I sort of want to get into the Roger Rabbit shorts because there's kind of a thing in the animation community, or at least the older animation community, about Roger Rabbit as a cartoon character versus... everyone loves Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's sort of a discussion over whether Roger Rabbit is a good cartoon character or not, and that's been a long conversation. I like him in the movie. I think he works in the movie. I never really liked the shorts as much, and I think most people... Jim Henson did create... He helped create a lot of it. He wasn't... I feel like he created... Anyway, I'm not getting into this. He was a major creative voice. Whatever. I shouldn't have responded to that comment. Alright. But there's this long thing with Roger Rabbit. And the shorts, if he didn't make enough of a compelling cartoon character, he's sort of a Bugs Bunny / Tex Avery / this and that kind of a character. And they did try to make shorts that would play before theatrical films with Roger Rabbit. This one, being Tummy Trouble, actually played before Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They would later re-release it with other things like Toy Story and Aladdin in certain countries and certain things like that. Or if they re-release certain movies, they'd go, "Oh, we have a special, you can see Beauty and the Beast again," and stuff. They'd sometimes do that. But basically, this was the first one it played before Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I think a year or two after Roger Rabbit. Now, or the next year. Now, the Roger Rabbit rights are sort of weird because it's half owned by Steven Spielberg and Amblin and Disney. So it's kind of a weird amalgamation of the thing. Now, Tummy Trouble is basically like Baby Herman gets... it's a maroon cartoon, all that stuff. Baby Herman gets a rattle stuck in his or her... I guess his... no, it's his. Sorry, gets a rattle stuck in his throat, and so Roger takes baby Herman to the hospital, and hijinks ensue and so forth. I don't gotta say I don't love the gags in the short. It's not like made like an amazing Looney Tunes stuff, and it feels like Rob Minkoff, who directed the animation parts of like most of this, isn't really a gag animator. It's like different between like a Gendy or a Chuck Jones or someone like that who understands how to do a ton of different like gags. Like a gag animator, Rob Minkoff is not really. And it just felt like he was going for like the big, craziness of all this. It's also interesting, why wasn't Richard Williams involved in any of this? But whatever. Although I just find that to be weird. Like, he did voice Droopy in this, because I've heard did he voice Droopy in the Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That I forget. But I kind of, when watching Tummy Trouble, it's funny, it's cool to see all the characters again. I'm sure it was fun. I've heard people who came to each of the Roger Rabbit shorts specifically. I've always heard people say that. I never knew anybody like that at the time. But it's sort of like a funny reminiscent thing of it. But I kind of wish it was... The thing about this is that eventually you see the live action parts, which Frank Marshall directed at the end of it, and it seems to like really want to be like, hey, it's Roger Rabbit, so you know the gimmick. I sort of wish it was just an animated cartoon and none of the live action parts, but I guess they really wanted to show it off. And it just like, it isn't really even as funny as the intro cartoon at the beginning of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It is sort of funny. I sort of like it, but it does like, it's not compelling, and it's not really animated in a way that feels like a real short. It feels like people sort of mimicking a short in a weird way, and like not doing, it's not made by someone doing the like, just not made by someone who do gags and like a Chuck Jones, like people who made Looney Tunes or Mickey Mouse or something like that. And I wish Tummy Trouble had been animated like someone like that. It just felt too manic, too weird, too strange. But Rob Minkoff would go on to really direct co-direct Lion King, and then work on Stuart Little and all sorts of stuff. And this was the first Disney animated theatrical short in about 16 years, which is insane. So it did kind of like give Disney a precedent to have kids get used to an idea of shorts, even though they only made 3 of these things. And none of them went as amicably, apparently, as this one did. But Tummy Trouble is like fine. It's on Disney Plus. It's also on YouTube if you want to check it out. But I just, I just didn't, I kind of like, it's fun seeing Roger Rabbit and stuff, but it kind of sells the idea that I don't think Roger Rabbit could sell a cartoon or be a cartoon superstar the way he's portrayed in the movie. And it's fine how he is in the movie, like it works in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but like taking him out of that like further shows evidence that he could never be like a Bugs Bunny or something like that. He is that character because of his role in the movie, not his role as a cartoon character in actual cartoon, although he did make it for being a cartoon character, but a cartoon character in a live action movie. It's weird, but Tummy Trouble further kind of proves that point, really, because it just doesn't really work. It's like there's no gags that I really laughed at. It was just like I had fun, sort of. It was like fine, but I've never really liked these shorts, and I kind of just wanted to go back into them and maybe see, maybe there's a better gag in it, but I'll have to check it out with the next one. But as for Tummy Trouble, it's just sort of like an interesting little exercise, maybe like an interesting corporate exercise to get you more excited right before you see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But that's sort of all it really was, and just sort of reminded you of Roger Rabbit and maybe watching a different, and maybe just rewatching Who Framed Roger Rabbit than doing this. Anyway, well, Super Chat from Will. Don't forget Rob Minkoff's Pinnacle Forbidden Kingdom Blessed Content. I don't know what that is, but cheers to you anyway. Alright. Oh! I forgot, before I do the Peacock review, and then we'll do questions, and then we're out of here. And I have recommendations for Peacock. Don't think I don't. Don't think I don't. I have my mask. I got my mask. I meant to start a segment like... See, my face is a little too big for this mask, but this is not my normal mask. But if you didn't get a gym mask, I probably deleted that link. But look on the other videos I have Like, they're close enough for you. Look at that one, and then you can do it. And I'm donating all proceeds to Direct Relief. Each mask bought buys a mask for Direct Relief, a medical grade mask for Direct Relief. But I'm going to donate all my proceeds to them as well. I think what I've, like, the $12 I've gotten for them, I'm going to donate tomorrow, I think. Oh, it's a Jet Li movie? I haven't seen a Jackie Chan Jet Li movie. Oh, man, I should check that out. That sounds interesting. Oh, okay. Anyway, so I don't wear it in public. I have a mask with a filter on. I don't know. I would feel weird doing that. Like, people are like, is that you? Stupid? Anyway. Alright, so Peacock is the new streaming service launched by NBC Universal this week. And it is a different, I'd say, kind of streaming service because it's having a free tier. It has a premium tier and a premium plus tier. But for the most part, it is really selling being a free streaming service. So this is the first major, like, billion-dollar streaming service that's launching a free tier ever. Like, you know, there was Hulu before this, but in terms of this launches like Disney Plus, HBO Max, so forth, they really are trying to get in the free tier, which is actually the one I was most interested in because what they're going to be doing for online advertising is they're actually going to have a major sales team go after online advertising for once. So online ad rates theoretically could go up and stuff, and it could really actually change the game. I noticed everyone's just saying how terrible and how awful it is. I don't agree with that. I actually think it's interesting, especially now that, like, people don't have a lot of money. People are you know, it's a hard time for people. I think a free streaming service would actually be a good thing. Certain things I like about it are that it does have so much free content. Not everything. Certain things are premium, and it seems weird that things are. There doesn't seem to be a ton of ads in it. You'd be surprised for a free streaming service. It also has this weird thing called channels, where basically you can go to a channel and watch, like, SNL or the news or the Today Show all day, or there's an Unsolved Mysteries channel, which I liked. They also have, one of the channels is The Office Shorts, so not The Office, but just clips of The Office, but then they'll show clips, the same clips from the same episode in a row, so sometimes you're like, wait, what am I watching? And I watch more of it than I'm proud of, but I don't understand why, because people just like having The Office on, why they don't have a channel, it's just The Office. You know, whatever. They do have an interesting selection. I don't think it's perfect, but I can see myself going to it occasionally, to be honest with you. I think having a free streaming service is something we sort of need right now. I know that there are certain seasons of certain shows that are free and some that aren't, but that's fine to me. Certainly like Film Rise or Tubi, but this is like a corporately huge billion-dollar streaming service one. And I actually sort of find it interesting to have, like, you know, a Pluto TV or streaming channels on it. I thought is actually kind of an interesting touch. I think you could do better with it. You could have, like, you know, NBC, you could say like NBC in the 80s. You could just literally have The Office. I don't understand the Office Shorts thing. You can have any show that has any sort of a following that people just like having on, you can have there. As well as, like, I think their TV selection isn't great. I think they should have had more selections, to be honest with you. But in terms of getting people interested in a service like this, I already sort of like it. I like the tiles on mobile. I like how it even works on my computer. Unfortunately, it's not much like HBO Max. It is not on Roku or Amazon Fire Stick. I don't know why these streaming services that spend billions of dollars and things to get this to work, to get these things launched, can't work out these deals with Amazon and Roku. I think that's like such a mistake, because that's how most people get their streaming service, watch streaming services, and like the fact that they're not included, I think, is a huge mistake. But that's their mistake, I guess. When this launches on there, I can see myself going to it. Like if I, you know, didn't DVR something, I would just go, oh, I'll just go to Peacock and watch it there. So I think they're really missing out, and they do have a cool service. I do think people will get into it, especially because if you're watching a current show on NBC, instead of using like, I know certain shows like Empire, when that was on Fox, and even This Is Us, became popular not through a streaming service necessarily, but because of on demand. And if you were able to, instead of do on demand, like go to like a streaming service, that would work out for NBC, especially if like they're making the direct ad revenue and so forth. It does have a lot of classics, which they seem to have more of that. They're actually selling these classics, which I think is actually really good. They have a lot of obscure animated shows, which I didn't expect. And I generally actually like it. I think people should be a little more open to it, because this could really change. If Peacock did well, there could be more free tiered streaming services, which I think like people, not everyone has the money to pay for a streaming service. And I understand it's easier, but as TV is sort of going away, I think we need to be, open to having, more accessible entertainment. And I like that about Peacock. But I know like certain things like the Saved by the Bell reboot sort of show and things they wanted to have ready at launch aren't because of COVID. That's fine. But as for what the streaming services is and like understanding it, I actually really liked it. I also, by the way, like that when I watched the news, the NBC News was really easy. They seem to edit it differently for Peacock, so I'm just like watching it, and I didn't even notice like the commercial breaks or even get sick of it till the end, like human interest piece story. So much like how Quibi, I really like the news on there. I now have a news service that's not like just Philip DeFranco or whatever. So, which I actually quite liked. I learned a lot from that news segment. I do like watching news while I like do dishes and stuff. So I could see like what I was saying before is like I wish there was an easier way to watch the nightly news. You can have that. So anyway, I wanted to also recommend things to actually watch on Peacock. But before I get to that part, I will say give this service a try. I think it's free. All you have to do is put your email in. You don't have to pay for it. Certain things are tiered, and that's annoying. But for the most part, I actually I find there's a lot of possibility in this. I think it will be cooler as it goes on, and I think they could do neater things with it. I more look at its potential and the idea of a major company understanding how it's going to have to sell online advertising through it. I think is really interesting. I wish more people would be a little more open to that. But I would say check out Peacock. I mean, it's free. It's a free streaming service. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm just going to use the free tier. So, and if I do another recommendation thing, then it'll probably be that. So let me go through some of the more interesting. I'm going to drink some Red Bull just to give me some energy. Sorry. That was a super chat from my mouth. But they actually do have interesting stuff on here, and I bring that up. They actually have Tully, which I haven't seen, so I might actually do that at some point, and I've been meaning to do Tully. I don't think they edit things either, which is interesting. These are just free. But, so these are things that I would recommend to watch on Peacock currently at launch. They had Phantom Thread, which was one of my favorite movies of that year, best movies of that year, Paul Thomas Anderson with Daniel Day-Lewis. It's a great movie. Check it out. They also have, and I think a lot of people in the chat have already said it, The Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat, which is, in my mind, the best version of Felix the Cat after the silent version of Felix the Cat. I think it is a worthy follow-up to that character and a great reboot. I didn't like the other TV series from the 50s. He's just like in a crappy animated show in the 50s. It's like, whatever. But Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat, and I've heard like animation experts talk about how great that show really is, and it's awesome that that's free for everyone on Peacock. They have a bunch of Hitchcock stuff. What is and isn't seems to be weird. like the Saboteur is pay, but Vertigo isn't. I'm like, all right, guys, I would have made the Saboteur free, but what like that, or like Everybody Loves Raymond and stuff. I don't know, or King of Queens doesn't make sense. But regardless, Rear Window. If you've never seen Rear Window, it's free. Go see it. You have no excuses. It's a great thing to watch, especially if you're stuck inside. I might rewatch that. I love Rear Window, as well as Vertigo. Vertigo isn't the greatest, I will say, Hitchcock to start with. So if you've never seen Hitchcock before, don't start with that. But if you've seen some Hitchcocks, it is generally considered to be one of the greatest films ever made. It is a very good movie. They also have a Coen Brothers film that I like that not a lot of people does, but The Man Who Wasn't There. I've always liked this film. It's been a little bit since I've seen it, but it's a cool like noir with Billy Bob Thornton, directed by the Coen Brothers. They also have Scarface, but the 30s Scarface. If you love the 80s Scarface, guess what? It's a remake of a movie, and there's sort of a point to the remake and stuff that everyone misinterprets. So if you want to, tell your weird friend who watches Scarface a million times that there's like a whole perspective that they're not into, you should check out of this movie that's super weird that they don't. You should check it out. It's a great movie as well. They also have a ton of Johnny Carson, which is crazy. There's never been really this much Johnny Carson for free before, and I'm surprised people aren't freaking out about that more, because they don't offer a ton. They offer a good amount of episodes. Some of them are best ofs and stuff like that, but there really isn't a great place to watch a ton of Johnny Carson clips. And you can get some cool interviews with some classic actors and people like that. So check out the Johnny Carson thing. I really recommend that, because I like Johnny Carson stuff. He pretty much predates me entirely, but I thought that was cool. They also have Cheers. I don't think all the Cheers stuff is on there, but they do have some Cheers. And you should check it. Cheers is a great show generally. They also have Matinee, the Joe Dante movie, which is a big fave of mine, which I should review at some point. It's about a movie in a movie, kind of a William Castle movie in a movie, and it's really cool. They have full Beatles episodes. I missed that one. I also saw they have Exo Squad, which is really cool as well. And they have the Savage Dragon cartoon, which I never was as into, but I'm sort of want to test out. And they also have the New Adventures of He-Man, which is sort of a forgotten He-Man reboot from the early 90s, which I sort of watched. I had the figures because I was such a He-Man fan. It's a weird show. There is a YouTube video I saw kind of sums up the show, and I was like, yeah, that was a weird show. They also have Fletch, the Chevy Chase movie I brought up earlier, which is really great. You should see. And this is sort of an interesting recommendation, but yes, Peacock is on Xbox and other things, so check it out there. But I wanted to bring up, they do have a lot of the road movies, the Bing Crosby, Bob Hope road movies. I formerly actually did reviews of all those films. I did a Road to the Road movie series. But they don't have... Road to Morocco is tiered, which is, in my mind, one of the greatest comedies of all time. I would recommend that one first. But they have what I would probably say is the second best one, which is Road to Utopia, which is still really good. I like the road movies. They're really good. They're kind of parodies of adventure films. Or they're parodies of adventure films at the time, which ended up becoming a franchise that was more popular than actual adventure films of that period, which is hilarious. Some people criticize those films for tropes that those adventure films had, but they misinterpret it because those road movies are parodying and actually calling out a lot of the racism of those adventure films. So if anyone says, don't watch those, they're problematic, they don't fully understand the context of what they're talking about. Anyway, I've noticed that's a common, so not to... They are really funny, and Road to Utopia you should check out. I love the road movies, especially Road to Morocco. That's an all-timer. Anyway, everyone's bringing up other things they're bringing up with okay, anyway, I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, I wanted to bring up that Peacock is a cool service. I would say check it out. It's free. It's free. There's no reason not to check it out. Everyone's saying it's a disaster. Don't compare it to HBO Max. Don't compare it to Disney Plus. It is, in fact, not a similar service to that because it has a free tier and it's doing a lot of different things. It has like a channel section. It's weirder. It's different. So I'm open to what it's doing, and I hope other people are too, because I think selling TV ad, having a TV ad sales team work on online advertising could very much change the game. I'm open to that for obvious reasons, but also I think it's a cool way to take streaming, and I hope they work out the Roku thing. I think it's embarrassing that they haven't, but as of right now, I'm kind of happy with it. But I'm happy with ignoring it because I don't have to worry about a free trial. I don't have to worry about how much it costs or work out a cable thing. I just have it. I mean, what's simpler than that? And to me, it's like doing interesting things with a streaming service that I can just have on my phone and be able to watch news and randomly put on, Unsolved Mysteries, to me is pretty cool. So as of right now, I like Peacock. I know various critics and people don't love it as much, but I like it and its potential, and I hope it works out for you. All right. Okay. So let's do questions. We'll do a little bit of questions, but before we get to the real questions, we have the Patreon question from Will. Will said, let me get some water here. Um, should I answer all questions in a face mask, or is that stupid? I don't know. Chat, let me know. Start asking your questions. Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. Seeing the Possessor teaser has me curious on what to do. Do you think the best trailers for movies are like the kind that makes you want to rewatch it and even go back to it after seeing the movie because it was so neat? The original teaser for Alien is pretty neat. Editing is everything. I think the best trailers are movies that get you pumped and excited, and make you sort of like movies themselves. You know, I actually really like watching trailers, but I think the best ones have a style and a hype factor and make you go, oh, cool. Or like the Possessor one, what I liked about that actually, is I like that it didn't reveal too much, but also like got me into the mood of the movie. I think like the Alien teaser does that. I actually like the Empire Strikes Back one because it's so 80s. I like the hype of it. I think if it makes you hyped, it's hard for me to watch a trailer after I've seen the movie because it's sort of like I've evolved past that or whatever. But the Alien one has got me hyped before. So I think a good trailer should make you excited and make you believe the hype. And there's not a lot of trailers that can do that after you've seen the movie. But I think certain ones like even the Phantom Menace trailer, because I remember being hyped for that. Or we talked, X-Men had its 20th anniversary this week. Like those, I remember those hypes, but sort of reminding you of that moment. But I don't think there's only the Alien one, and very few could really make me want to see something again. But I would say the Alien one definitely, or the T2 one, or things like that. So I hope I answered that right. Anyway, so we have questions. I know Jordan Bouchard was first. Okay, have you seen the movie Phone Booth? No, I haven't. I should. I've heard it's interesting. R.I.P. Joel Schumacher. Ace the Wind Rider. What's your favorite meta moment in movie or TV? Actually, I resaw the end of Community, and that very end part I thought was where Dan Harmon's talking about all the rules of that game. I thought was interesting. As well as actually, Ace, when you brought up that Fresh Prince thing in our we do a Flicks Friday thing where he asks me questions on Twitter. You should check it out. He asked some good questions where Will Smith said, if we're so rich, why do we have a roof? I think that would be another one. So, Black Saxonwinkle, is Peacock better than Quibi? Yes, I would say that. Question from Sweet Potato Files. You mentioned Boondocks earlier. Just wondering if season 5 and 6 are going to be the final seasons. What would you like them to settle, and what more would you like to see from the reboot? I would like them to do things about Black Lives Matter. I would like them to do things about this current moment, Trump, all that stuff. I would say that. I don't know if it's really going to be the final thing, but we'll see about that. But I'd like them to really take on a lot of issues of our current age, really. What was so great about the original Boondocks. Austin said, what's the best OG episode of Unsolved Mysteries? I thought I brought it up before, and I think it freaked everyone out about the truck driver who had no clean criminal record, everything like that, and suddenly they found him and he never deviated from his route, and he was driving through a campground and talking nonsense and banging a $20 bill against a rock and saying nothing, and it was it's a really freaky one. That's my favorite. I really like the ones where somebody goes crazy and no one can figure out what happened. Sorry, that's my personal. I would say the one about a house that had various ghosts, and then the ghost followed this one family because he liked them so much, but then when he left, these mischievous ghosts came in. That one was good. Anyway, I could go on all day, but those are some ones that come to mind. Not plausible. When you watch the news, how do you balance out being informed and keeping your sanity? I think being informed, part of it is keeping your sanity, but I try to just I like to hear the theories and the things that people are thinking at the time, because often when you're talking to someone about issues, a lot of people don't watch the news, they just really read the headlines. So when you go, oh, well, someone brought up that. So it helps keep you, I think, informed in what's going on. It's hard, I think, some days. I know some people don't like to watch the news. I would say if you're can't really do it, I think someone like Philip DeFranco is actually good because he brings in pop culture, and if you want to skip a story, you could. I think you should just watch it all the way through and bear it, but not that his show's in several. I like his show, but I think having some fun with it, which is why they do human interest stories, so you don't get too depressed no matter what's going on in the news. Tell us a story when you're in Vietnam, Zane Powers. There's this time. It's a war. It's war, man. Ryan Walter said, "What about Bob?" I love What About Bob. That's a cool movie. Underappreciated. Nathaniel Folga, have you ever seen the remake of Around the World in 80 Days? Also, I sent you my haircut pic on Twitter. Okay, let me... Sorry, it's hard to do... Alright, let me see. Let's check out... This is prime content right here. This is... Hold on. Nice haircut. Who cut your hair? I'm curious about that. But let's... Look, there's Nathaniel Folga. Nice haircut. Congrats. We're haircut buddies. Okay. Anyway. Oh, I should have retweeted that. Let's retweet that. Hold on. Hold on. Nice haircut? Do you think that's the tweet? Probably. Nice haircut. During the show. There we go. Okay, anyway. Sorry. Where were we? Sorry. Have you... Oh, no, I haven't. I answered that. Okay. Zane Powers, what are some... Where we go? Okay, what are some terrible movie trailers? The Blind Side, maybe? Yeah, I would say that one. I would say... Anyone that, like, gives away too much. And I really hate, like... I like that... was it To the Moon, that trailer where like I thought it was really good, but then it just keeps revealing. So I really hate it when they reveal too much. That really bothers me. And anything with the Minions. There we go. There we go. We got it. Wait, did I? Okay, hold on. Question from... Oh man, I think it went all the way. Hold on. Question. There's the Vietnam question. Okay. Black Sea Axel Winkle. Now that you've seen Kevin James Peanut Butter and Jelly ASMR shit. Oh, I didn't. Sorry. I'm sorry, Black Sea. Oh. Anyway, question. What do you think Tenet is really about besides Katie Holmes really breaking gas? I think it's just like about the idea of like something like controlling time and they have to fight it with timey stuff. That's what I think. I don't know. Ryan Welchson, oh brother, or at how? I'm right here. Not plausible. If we wanted to message you, would it be through email or Discord? I would say you could just DM me on Twitter or you can message me on Discord. I have an email, but I would say those are probably better places to do it. Who's the boss? I forget who the boss was in that Community episode. Wasn't it Alyssa Milano? I forget. Bruce Parker, what would you do with Alien and Predator if you were Marvel at the moment? I mean, I would have Alien... There was a good Alien Predator thing that Chris Claremont wrote that I really liked in the 90s. I don't know if it's still good. Austin, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Zane Powers, how do you think Chris Nolan's career could be affected by how he's acting with Tenet? I think it's definitely going to hurt his legacy. I think people are a little annoyed with him. He basically is like, needs to give it up and stop it at this point. It's not going to help his legacy at all. What's happening with what's happening? What? Nathaniel Fogel, what do you want? Why do you want to cancel animation forever? This is referring to the... I forget why he said that. You know, when those come out, it's like 2 weeks later. I'm like, what did I say? What? Whatever, it's canceled. Fun fact, Butch Hartman attempted to make a nickel plush based off of a joke from FOP, but in order to go into production, it would need to sell 400 pre-orders sold 0. Ooh. Favorite Hitchcock film from Austin? I would actually maybe say Rear Window or Psycho. Either one of those two. Zane Powers, will the NC-17 rating ever get justice? Probably not, because most people just go unrated and don't even do NC-17. I can't think of the last NC-17 major movie. They just go unrated. So, Medela Butterfly, are you a Family Guy or a Simpson? I guess Simpson, Medela Butterfly. Not plausible. Which actors do you think best played a president in a TV show or movie? Probably Bill Pullman or Martin Sheen in West Wing? Probably. Or Michael Sheen? whatever. Let's see. I hate that I know that nickel joke you're referring to. Question: what's an overly cynical show? Probably It's Always Sunny. Fun fact: another related Salty Decan Santa's official plush went on sale on makeshift.com. That's true. Question: who's the better Vincent Price villain, Zing Zang or Reddick? Maybe Zing Zang. Probably. Mandela Butterfly. Should Butch Hartman remake Fairly Odd Parents but with angels? No, that sounds awful. Ryan Welch says, I'm funny. How, like a clown, do I amuse you? I guess, yeah, you do. Zane Powers, when will you review Cats and Dogs? I was not a kid when that came out, so I don't think that's happening. I guess my supposed question was flagged? Oh, that sucks. I'll just ask instead, would you risk going to see newer movies like Tenet even if we ask you to follow ridiculous protocols? I don't know if I'm going to I don't think I'm going to a theater for a while. Sadly, unfortunately. So, let's just do a couple more. Here we go. Paddle Paddly. Happy Saturday, everyone. Sweet haircut, and I hope everyone's staying safe and indoors. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. That's very nice of you. Okay. Sorry, I didn't watch it. Let's see. Question from Zane Powers. What's a movie you saw with a group of kids when you were a kid they all loved and you hated it? For me, it was Master of Disguise. I would actually say Gone in 60 Seconds, probably. Or Big Daddy. I didn't like that movie. Epic Gamer question. This will be the last one. Can you name all 3 of the power-ups from the first Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System? Power-ups. Is it like a star? No, I probably can't. I'll probably screw it up. So, anyway, thank you for the haircut compliment. All right. I think that's it. Yeah. If I missed, would you murder all those children? Ugh, gross. No. All right. So, yeah. Where was I going? I think that's it. Things that came out this past week. A lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff come out this past week. From the Clerks review, I'm going to try to do more of a Kevin Smith kind of thing review series, I think, as there's not enough stuff to review. But I think I'll do Clerks Animated next and the pilot as a segment on this show, as well as I did Garbage Pail Kids, Palm Springs, Close Enough, and I made a video for Spyscape on Diana Rigg, which I'm really proud of. The short, Scarcity on Matt's channel, Saber Sparks' video. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I'm hoping that we have more news stories next week with Comic-Con and everything like that. Maybe I'll have a New Mutants movie to review. Probably not. I know 12 Ounce Mouse premieres this week. I'm probably not going to review Season 3 until it's all completed and done, and maybe a little bit after that. But I think I'm going to go back on Season 1 and 2 at some point. That's just my plans right now. We'll see how it all goes out. But thank you all very much for being there. Thank you all very much for the Super Chats and for being as awesome as you guys always are. Very nice. And thank you for being nice about my haircut. That's cool too. I hope you've been enjoying these lights here. Well, they're over there. But anyway, you guys all have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Wear a mask. Social distance. All those good things. And I hope you guys all have a great night. I will see you guys next time. And subscribe if... No, it takes a little bit. Subscribe if you would like to. See you next time. Bye.